Hi, it's Chuck Kent for Lead the Conversation. I'm here at Branding Business today with Ryan Rieches, CEO, who has been practicing what I call conversation leadership for some time now in the form of a podcast, since before podcasts were cool. So Ryan, welcome.
Thanks, Chuck.
Looking forward to hearing what you've learned about conversation leadership via your podcast. So before we begin, can you give us your best elevator speech about Branding Business?
Well, we're a B2B brand strategy firm. And actually, I found that when I use my mission statement, it's a good way to describe who we are. And that is, we help organizations achieve breakthrough success by unlocking, clarifying, and leveraging the inspirational power of their brand.
One more reason to have a good mission statement.
It's easy to remember, too.
That's great. You've been podcasting for 5 or 6 years now, since before it was hot. Why exactly did you decide to start?
Well, actually, I was invited as a guest on a couple podcasts. These were business-centric podcasts, and the topic of brand strategy was one that was well received. People found a lot of interest into it, and thought, well, what a great way to communicate our point of view, as well as to have guests who could also communicate their own leadership and their own point of view as well.
Why did you choose an interview format and bringing on other experts?
Well, I thought it was an opportunity to do just that, bring on another voice, and so now we have an opportunity to have a conversation and a dialogue on a specific topic that we're very passionate about. And of course we have our own point of view, but it's also interesting to me to layer on top of our point of view another person's point of view, whether it's an industry expert, a client, or someone who maybe just wrote a book recently and wants to also have that point of view shared. So I thought it was just a great way to introduce our audience to insights that they could learn from.
Do you find that having a conversation format is particularly relevant in your world in B2B?
Absolutely. I think there's an opportunity in B2B to communicate the nuances of what it takes to create a B2B brand. And most people think B2B branding is rational, and it's quite the opposite. It's very emotional branding because there's a lot more at stake typically. It's a considered purchase, there's a long sales cycle, multiple decision makers, whoever's job it is to develop the brand and choose the branding partner, there's a lot of risk. Their job might be on the line. And the decisions that we make coming out of this, we're not just applying it to brand strategy as it relates to marketing. A lot of what we do in the area of brand strategy, the research we do, applies also to business strategy. So there's a lot at risk, and so we share a lot of that information about the processes we go through, the client's point of view on how we got there, and so we like to share a lot of learnings that other marketers and other corporate executives can learn from.
What do you find have been the biggest benefits to your business of adding conversation to your content mix?
I think it's a way for us, obviously, to get our point of view across, and then it's a way that we can also draw attention to our website, which has a lot of other thought leadership content on there, whether it's blogs or white papers, etc. But one of the nice ways is that organizations are faced with a variety of different branding challenges. And now we have content that we can provide to someone who's going through that same challenge. For example, if there's a merger of equals, we have a podcast for that. If there is a spin-off, how do we go about doing spin-off work? That is a podcast for that. A roll-up strategy by a private equity firm. Employer branding, a real hot topic right now. So that's the idea behind it, is that we're offering relevant content that people can turn to, or we can provide if, for example, we're in a RFP or a competitive pitch. Here we now have this client or this expert providing a point of view on that particular topic that you might find relevant.
So you mentioned having clients on. Are some of those experts also potentially prospects?
Occasionally, yes. Yeah. It's easier to get the clients on than the prospects, but occasionally that works out quite nicely as well.
Well, not a bad relationship builder then.
No, absolutely not.
Would you, or perhaps even do you already, advise other B2B CEOs to start their own industry conversations via a podcast or seminar series, etc.?
Well, I think there's tremendous benefit in the concept of thought leadership. I know that's a big buzzword that's used over and over. There obviously is benefit to it, whether you're out speaking or at conferences or doing things like a podcast or video series, but you got to commit to it. I mean, how many times have we been involved with either our own organization or clients who say, I want to do a newsletter, simple newsletter. they'll get down the road 6 months and run out of steam, and it doesn't happen. So I would advise anybody to have a well-organized strategy in the beginning, have a lot of content identified 6-9 months out, and be able to commit to it. So yeah, we've been doing this podcast for well over 5 years, 60, 70 episodes, and now it's just part of who we are and what we do. So you got to commit to it.
Well, Ryan, thank you very much for your time and insights. This has been Chuck Kent with Ryan Rieches for Lead the Conversation.